Hey everybody, I'm inComp and I'm here to review a skin called Blueberry, which is a very minimalistic skin created by Andy Tony. The minimalistic idea that the skinner is shooting for really shows here. There's not much to look at, however the graphics that are here are high res and slick. Objectively speaking, I can't find anything wrong with this screen. The tabs up top, the song list, and the bottom section are all skinned accordingly. I like the vibrant highlights of the bottom buttons. Moreover, the icons for said buttons are fitting and effective. I could make a case about how the random buttons icon looks more like a hope icon, but I would be grasping at straws. I especially like the mod icons. They're compact and performant. The skinner will not group the mod icons via color so that he can instead give each one its own color. Since he makes this work, I'll let that slide. Once again, the minimalism is apparent here. The rigging panel itself is not bad, the slight transparency to it is a nice touch. It looks smooth and it comes super close in matching the upper portion of the screen where the map's information is. The shadow on the panel is worth a mention because it gives some depth to an otherwise flat screen. If you look at the back button, you will notice that it looks kind of different from the one on the song selection screen. Since the game will use the same image for both back buttons, you have to think outside the box in order to make them appear differently. This kind of creativity is always welcomed in these minimalistic pro skins. However, it's not all that great. The percent symbol is a little bit too small. Also, the blue color used for it is not the same blue that is used for the X's on the rigging panel. It's close, very close, but not identical. Same for the period, or comma if you use that. A subjective con would be the white-gray letters. Personally, I like them colored, but both Cbold and Z9W say that it doesn't really matter, so I won't factor it into the scoring. With that done, let's move on to the gameplay. The hit circles look fine. As a casual player, I find the skin very easy to play with. The combo colors are both blue and green, which reminds me of the skin's theme, blue for the blueberries and green for their stems. Shut up. The cursor reminds me of aesthetic, but it's different in its own special way. The health bar is simple, maybe too simple, but it fits in well. The key input area is also skinned in a minimalist style but colored in a blueberry theme. The pause and fail screens are suitable for only a minimal skin. There's also no fail music. These spinners look nice, but the eye candy ones feel way too heavy. The hit bursts are all in one color, so I had to actually read them to know if I hit a 50 or a 100. In my opinion, this is bad for gameplay. Now, if you're like me, you probably enjoy gameplay that is playable but still has quite a bit to offer on the visual aspect. The skin is very playable, but its default aesthetics just don't appeal to me. However, the skinner included a lot of extras in the skin, allowing you to customize it to your own liking. Here are a few ways you can customize it. This song selection screen did not set my expectations very high. The first impression I got was, oh, yet another generic minimalistic pro skin. The highlights of the bottom section weren't much, but they did make me think that the skin could possibly have some more substance than just being a minimal skin. The mod icons made me actually want to review the rest of the skin since a lot of thought was obviously put into them. Sure, I might wish there were more graphics for me to look at, but that's subjectivity. Objectively, I give the song selection screen a 5 out of 5. The ranking screen is pleasant and it fulfills its purpose. Its appearance is great and I can always appreciate the creativity regarding the back button. While I do have subjective issues with it, the only real con I found is the disparity between the coloring for the X's in the ranking panel and the percent symbol. As a result, the ranking panel gets a 4 out of 5. I really like the gameplay for Blueberry. It's clean, it's readable, it's high res, and it's customizable. To me, it's one of those skins that I can just play better with for no reason. The only problem is the fact that all the hit bursts use the same color. Since it's not perfect, I have to give the gameplay a 4 out of 5. With all things considered, the skin deserves a 4 out of 5 and the obligatory pro skin balance. It sucks that it's so close to a 5 out of 5, but the few issues make it push it back to a 4. There is a huge gap between 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 skins, and I'm not sure how we go about fixing that. Well, moving on, what did you think of Blueberry? You can voice your opinion via the poll that is on the video now, or it should be.